how's Operation Tape Drive? Just got more interesting.
Yo, you're tuning in for another live episode of The Boy. Had technical difficulties. Gonna let people sort of start joining up. So I'm gonna let Sep Rock Beats ride. This is side B, number 14 on the two-part LP from Sunken City Records. We'll find a link and put it in the comments. Meanwhile, tell your friends. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. If you're tuning in on the archives, just hang tight. You can skip ahead till whenever. But until then, Sep Rock Beats, hang on for just a couple minutes.
Mike, how's Operation Boring Tape Drive? Just got more interesting.
All right. Welcome to another episode of The Boy. Again, we got Sep Rock Beats, side B, number 14 on the double LP that he came out with not too long ago on Sunken City Records. Now, I advertised this episode as being new episode on the new time on Tuesdays because there is a art walk event down here in Jacksonville where I am broadcasting to you live, by the way. Excuse me. Man, I've been having some voice issues lately. Been talking too much, I guess. Just so much going on, talking to so many people, connecting so many dots, which, according to Steve Harvey, is a skill in of itself. All right. Here we go. Let me get this camera on. So how are you guys doing tonight? Looks like we got one person on YouTube, and we had a fleeting moment on Facebook with someone joining in. But you know, Facebook sort of the folks jump in and hop out pretty regularly. So hopefully maybe they'll be maybe that means they're jumping onto the YouTube. Though we do have one person on YouTube. So thank you. The one person out of all the billions of folks on this planet, one person is tuned in live on The Boy. So moving to Tuesdays, like I said, there is an art event that happens here in Jacksonville on every first Wednesday, and I've been missing out on it because of the show, because the show's on Wednesday. And I guess I could make some kind of weird, once a month weird exception or something, or change to the schedule. But I don't know. Maybe some reason I didn't want to do Tuesdays, but we're moving to Tuesdays. I don't know. Does anything happen on Tuesdays? Maybe some big event happens on Tuesdays. Hopefully this works out for people, because this whole experiment, the Boyd, this whole like I can't remember if I put it in the description. I've described this as a sort of a fellowship of truth. Now, what that means is we're trying to talk, like all of us together, we're trying to talk about what is the truth. Like, what does that mean? I think all of us are walking around like Jade Fox in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, if you guys remember that film from a while back. In that film, Jade Fox thought she knew all the, what was there's a name of the style that she was trying to learn, that she learned, that she was looking at the manuscripts, and she was teaching the kid, the Empress. And she was a woman back in some, I don't know what era that was in China, but apparently in that time frame, women were generally illiterate, and so Jade Fox, being a peasant, normal female, was illiterate, and the princess, being of aristocracy, was literate and able to read the manuscripts that they were trying to study for the martial arts stuff. Anyway, I think that's just a really apt sort of metaphor for where we are as people. I think with the internet and in front of our faces, a lot of us feel like we have all this information at our fingertips and access to it. So therefore we have now like squashed ignorance. And I think that there's a depth to it that we're negating, that we have to acknowledge. And I don't know that we're doing that. So it looks like we had like 4 people on YouTube. Let me see what's going on now. Nobody's on YouTube. I mean, excuse me, not YouTube, Facebook. We got 1 person just joined us on Facebook. But like I said, people jump on and off. Now, somebody is still on YouTube. Who are you? Is it one of our super fans or a new person on YouTube? Or if you're on Facebook, please leave a comment. Let us know what's up. Now, I will tell you, there is a link for YouTube, for the YouTube channel. I would, if I were you, I would go there if you are watching on Facebook. Now, I simulcast the show on Facebook because I have more followers on Facebook, and so that's why I do it. Otherwise, you should go to the YouTube channel, because YouTube channel has a live chat stream that has been enabled. And remember, for the viewer that is on YouTube, we do have what's it called? Skype. Don't forget, in the description. So in the description of the show, we have Skype links. So in fact, yes, in Facebook as well, you can actually Skype in. Actually, hold on. Let me make sure Skype is running, because I've been having. Okay, so I've advertised this. I mean, look, no one's even tuned in, really. There's 1 person on YouTube. Maybe let's see who's on Facebook. There's maybe 2 people on Facebook. So a couple people tuned in. So not really that many tuned in anyway, because of the advertisement that I put out there. So really, the archive folks, let's talk about some stuff for you guys, because I don't even know who's tuning in. What do you put a comment? What do you want to talk about? Anybody have something? There's some folks that have jumped in and jumped back out. Leave a comment. What's on your mind? We'll talk about it. Well, until you give me something, let's talk about Hofstadter's law. Hofstadter. I don't know how you pronounce this shit. However, Let me, by the way, hold on. Let me. Okay. Where is it? Okay, so let me talk about Hofstadter's law. Most of you guys probably don't know about this. I didn't know about it for a long time. God, I think my brother told me about Hofstadter's law. Let's talk about Hofstadter's law and why the show was late today. And this is something I think a lot of us will what's it called? Relate to. Yeah, that's the word, relate. Oh, God, my brain is like farting right now. Okay, here we go. So, by the way, I'm using Wikipedia, and Wikipedia needs your support, apparently. Let's just use this much of it. Okay, here we go. So Hofstadter's law. Hopefully you guys can see that. Hold on, let me see my Facebook people. Hofstadter's law. You guys should be able to see that. I can move this out of the way. Hold on. There we go. All right, Facebook folks, you should be able to see that. YouTube folks, okay, hopefully you can see that. All right, so Hofstadter's law, self-referential adage. So this is sort of this, pardon me, sort of like a saying, right? Hofstadter's law, it always takes longer than you expect, even when you take into account Hofstadter's law. Yes, that, my friends, is sort of what was going on today with this show. So here I go, ready to launch the show. And usually everything goes along. It takes a couple minutes to launch this crap. And hopefully, I don't have to move too much shit in the stupid garage that I'm streaming. But yeah, Hofstadter's law. So usually it takes a couple minutes. So tonight, for whatever reason, maybe because of my computer didn't update, I don't know. Hofstadter's law came into effect, and it took like 25 minutes or some shit for the updates and some other shit to happen. So anyway, introduction to Hofstadter's law. Remember, when you're trying to create a deadline or you're trying to come up with something, it'll probably take you longer than you think, even when you consider Hofstadter's law. It'll take longer than you think it'll take. Something to think about. Superfan Chris has joined. Thank you so much, Superfan Chris, for joining, because I'll tell you what, this I was saying to Superfan Chris actually before the show that the OGs of the Boyd will look back with warmth at these crazy times when we've had crazy I don't know, technical difficulties. I don't know, whole weeks have been skipped. I mean, it's just been crazy. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's wait, like I said, the OGs of the show. Let me show you Hofstadter's law again for a second. For those of you guys that maybe didn't get a chance to catch it, it's definitely a good lesson, Hofstadter's law. Now, I wasn't really planning on using this as a topic per se, but it just seems so apropos because of the circumstances. But something to think about. And one of those laws like Murphy's Law, it's not really a law. It's just like a thing that someone came up with, this idea, and now they call it quote unquote law. All right, let's see here. Another thing I was thinking about, actually, I didn't put it in the description. I wasn't really sure what to talk about. Really, whoever tunes in, as you're tuning in, drop me a comment. I mean, Facebook, you can put in a comment. YouTube, we have the live chat. Put in a comment. So what's been on your mind? Is there like a YouTube article that's really, something your craw? Is it like biting your craw or itching your craw? I don't remember that saying, that idiom. I know something about the craw. I don't even know really what part of your body the craw is. I mean, I guess that's maybe something to talk about, but I don't know. One thing that's sort of been popping up in discussions lately with folks is a concept, or not a concept, I guess. Well, there's a book. I'm not supported by this book, though I probably should be, because I mean it is a pretty good book. Let me tell you what it is. All right, so here we go. It's called The Four Agreements. So I'm going to plug the book. Not even a plug. I mean, I'm just telling because it's pretty cool. Let me bring this up. So sorry guys, I'm running one-man show, so I gotta make this thing work. All right, so here we go. I just clicked on something that Google popped up with, so it's Amazon. Oh God, I'm not trying to promote Amazon in any way. I'm just showing you basically what the book looks like. Here, like that. That's the cover. Four Agreements. The reason why I'm talking about it is because, in fact, there are. Hold on a second. Let me do this. Oh God dang it! Freaking! I really need someone to help me out with the live production. All right, so Four Agreements. There is. Here we go. Hold on a second. Hello, what's this? Hello, what's this? Okay, so here are the actual Four Agreements. So it's a whole book, and it's supposedly based on Toltec. Oh, God, what? Stand by, please, for due to technical difficulties, I cannot bring the Four Agreements to you. All right, here we go. Okay. Let me move this here. Here we go. All right. So for audio only people who, sorry that you have to, I mean, hopefully I'll edit this. I don't know. I don't have the will. I just can't stand editing stuff and doing that. It's just so tedious. I got to do it. I got to find a way. If you guys have some kind of motivational suggestions for how I can do the dirty work of editing and social media and or some kind of promotion of the show, because let's face it, the more people that are involved, the more interesting these conversations get, right? So get people involved. Tell your friends. Let's have a debate. I'm sort of itching for a debate. I've had a lot of people sort of agree with what I'm talking about. Let's have some people that disagree, and let's try to, that's the only way we can really thoroughly and honestly examine our opinions and thoughts and worldview, is by finding conflicts or people that identify conflicts within them. Anyway, Four Agreements, let's go through them. Be impeccable with your words. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word, meaning your voice and the words that you say. Your voice to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. So that's tricky, especially when our emotions get involved. Sometimes we say things that we don't mean that actually can affect people in ways we don't realize. And I think that's something that a lot of us don't really think about, and we should just be more cognizant. So again, Four Agreements, just things that resonate with me and probably hopefully other people, because if everyone did this, then I think we'd have a pretty awesome society, right? Don't take anything personally. This is tricky. This is a tough thing. In the book, they talk about someone coming up and shooting you, literally shooting you in the face, and not taking that action personally, because they must have a problem if they're walking around shooting you in the face. So that is something that you need to, you got to deal with your physical problem. However, the personal, don't take it personally. And that is something that almost is difficult, it's like beyond understanding, to be shot in the face by someone and not take it personal. To be like, oh, that person must have like mad problems. Nothing others do is because it says odd you, but of you. What others say and do, I'm sort of starting to wonder if, let me double check this, is a projection of their own reality. Yeah, it's true. Okay, so we go along with the book, I guess. Their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Well, I mean, and that's the thing is, whatever someone else says or does is them, right? You have no control over that. So why are you going to try and fret over even trying to do anything about that? Don't take it personal and just like, whatever, right? Just move on from it. That is something I think people really can't do. They can't divorce themselves from an issue or from business or from what they deem as some level of respect or social hierarchy or something like that. They tie themselves to this and feel like when that item gets threatened, they themselves, as an entity themselves, get threatened. And that's, I think, what it's sort of striking at, is that you yourself as an entity, a human being, are separate from any issue. No matter what the issue, you are separate from that issue as a human. So don't take it personal. Don't let that person's statement, actions, anything take control of your emotions and who you are as a human. Anyway, don't make assumptions. Next one, tough. Right? We have implicit biases. We've been raised a certain way. We've seen certain things. And sometimes that shapes us because we naturally try to protect ourselves. So we try to look for patterns, etc. We establish these things. Don't make assumptions. It's tough to fight against this propensity to make assumptions. But guess what? Racism is an assumption. Prejudice, by definition, is an assumption. Right? So find the courage to ask questions. Be dumb. It's better to be dumb than just wrong, I think. I would rather be ignorant and learn than to be just wrong and stuck. And to express what you really want, communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. Truly, if you don't make assumptions, it really can. It really can truly transform your life. In fact, I almost am hesitant to tell a personal anecdote of this agreement. And in fact, maybe in a year or so, when the results of this, even if it doesn't come to fruition because of that, there are still some things to be said, but maybe this is a story in the making. But making assumptions is definitely something that is tough to avoid, because it's a natural thing that I think that we do in order to protect ourselves. Always do your best. This, I think, some folk, this comes sort of easy because we know that our work is reflects us, and so some of us are already built in with some level of pride in what you do, but some people don't. Some people look at opportunities to slouch whenever they can, to skimp, to half-ass as much as they can, And sometimes they do that in order to manipulate someone else or in order to get their way. Like think about a child who's supposed to do chores and they do it so shitty that you like might as well just do it your damn self, because they know they're doing it shit, just so you tell them not to do it anymore. That kind of thing. That's definitely breaking an agreement. You know what I mean? Even if you don't want to do something, do your best. Always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstances, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. I mean, again, your work or you are reflected in what the changes that you make in this world. Isn't it so much better to be able to have some work that you did or something that happened that you don't have to come back with some kind of qualifier? Oh, well, in this one, I wasn't paid very much, so I did a shit job. Or in this one, I was paid a lot, so you could see I did a really good job. Why don't you just do your best every time? If you agree to do something, then agree to do your best. But that's something that's tough. Some people can't fathom that notion of doing your best, despite, maybe not getting paid as much as you want, or I don't know, all sorts of stuff. So I don't know. Why don't you guys tell me what you think? Facebook people, come on. If you're gonna join, come on, put some comments, people. All right, where's my YouTube folks at? Let me find my YouTube channel. I'm telling you, I need some live help up in this piece. Here we go. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Got lost. Okay, we got some commentary going on. I was hoping to fill the basket, and it looks like we got. Oh no, Chris got. Okay, here we go. So, Superfan Chris says patience is a powerful virtue, and I definitely agree with that. Something I'm trying to work on is patience. I'm very impatient. Prone to impulsive behavior. So many things, these vices. But working on it, right? So whatever, I guess. Monique, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, good people. And yes, plug away. When you know a good thing, it should be shared. Yes, I think it's a good thing. Let's see. Monique says, I do not know if doing your best would avoid self-judgment. Sometimes we're hard on ourselves, so hard on ourselves that we still feel as though we should have done better. For me, the hardest agreement has always been not taking things personal. Superfan Chris says. And then Monique says, working on patience, God makes you earn it. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. So going back to doing your best, self-judgment. I mean, if you do, so being critical of your performance is one thing, because that's part of critical improvement, right? Process improvement, excuse me. So if you believe in process improvement, self-improvement, all of those things, then it's okay to be critical of yourself. Judgmental, maybe. I almost wonder if we should, because part of never making assumptions is to never, like, judging, I think, is by its definition making an assumption. So if you are not making assumptions, then you cannot judge yourself. You're making an assumption based on some, I guess, assumption. You're building a level or some kind of something that you have to attain based on some assumption. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, so by definition, judgment is an assumption. So don't judge at all, including self-judgment. Now, Could you improve? What can I do better next time? What can I incorporate next time to do even better or hone my skill? Continual improvement. That's different. You see what I mean? So maybe we need to look at what we consider self-judgment, and maybe it's our own process improvement program. Maybe we're taking it personal. So maybe there's a number of agreements that have to be sifted through that's causing, that comment that you left there. So possibly, I don't know. Tell me what you think. Folks out there, Facebook folks, they always jump, they touch and go. Now, hopefully that means they're jumping onto the YouTube. There is a link. So YouTube folks, looks like we have 3 very unique people in this world of billions of people. That is a fraction. That is very, I don't want to be, I don't want to do that math. But anyway, think about how unique you must be, that you are. So think about that. Tell your friends. My goal lately has been, I don't remember what. Anybody remember super fans out there? What? There was a time when I said something would happen at 50 subscribers. We're at like 48 subscribers. At 50 subscribers, I don't remember what it was that was supposed to happen at 50 subscribers. I think we just were trying to get there. I don't know. So 50, I know 100 subscribers. I don't remember. Anyway, all right, let's look at what else we got. Monique working on patience. Oh, then Monique also says, okay, then perhaps it should be self-reflection. I think self-reflection is good. I've mentioned before, Tim Minchin had a saying that a phrase he used in a speech, that opinions are indeed like assholes. However, unlike assholes, opinions are like assholes, but unlike assholes, opinions should constantly and thoroughly be examined. So that is something I think we should constantly and thoroughly self-reflect. And I think that's part of it. So, without judgment though, and it depends on what you're trying to reflect on. Some of it, like I mentioned earlier, I'm working on my patience. I'm working on not assuming and taking things personal and blah, blah. I'm working on these things. So you reflect on those things and you try to improve on those. So it's process improvement, right? Kaizen, a little bit at a time, compound effect. There's, a lot of different ways of saying the same thing. But that's sort of something, I think that's part of a healthy dialogue that I think we have a hard time dealing with because we don't have healthy critics. You know what I mean? We don't have people that levy critique in a healthy, positive, and helpful way. A lot of times it's negative, or it has a hierarchical component or a personal component, or we were at a different emotional level. I think as we become more aware of things like emotions and things that are, especially in the masculine world, are taboo to talk about, we start to see that if we're honest with ourselves, we become more open to ideas of I don't know, we just become more open to ideas of us being wrong in the past, of seeing the world through different eyes, and our eyes have almost literally changed. Like our way of viewing the world has changed. And, I think we have to leave room for other people to experience that. Now, how do you instigate that? That becomes a question, I think. How do you instigate that change, that want to persevere, to be better, right? That's something tough, I think, to really instill in folks. All right, so Superfan Chris says self-reflection is slightly different from doing your best. When doing your best, you simply do the best you can at each task. If you're sweeping a floor at work, don't skip a spot thinking nobody will notice it. Indeed, right? Doing your best. And I think just as that little blurb I read said in the book, it talked about like if you're sick, you just do your best that you can while you're sick. And if your best is laying on the couch and just being sick, and to do that the best you can. You better get some damn rest and chill the hell out. You know what I mean? That is something to do. I mean, if you're sick and you know that if I chill the hell out and just like binge watch some Disney movies or Netflix or just sleep or whatever, that I know that I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be fine. That's just how I work. Then by golly, do it, as best you can. Like, I don't know, doing your best. You just like Chris said, you might not be the best floor sweeper, but sweep it. If you see it's done, that there's spots missing, then fix it. Otherwise you're lying to yourself that you didn't do your best. So do your best. What do you think, Facebook viewer? Put a comment in and tell us about what you think about doing your best at all times. Try to do your best. Monique says, in my self-reflection, I look on how to be better, that there is always room for improvement. And Superfan Chris agrees. Yeah, sure. But, to what end? Perfection? I mean, how high is high? Like, you know what I mean? There's got to be some point where you feel like, yeah, I nailed it. If I could do that again, that would be nailing it. And I have now consistently found a way to be pretty doggone good at doing something. And until, and I'll continue to self-reflect, but, maybe there's a point where you sort of have almost a routine to what you're doing as you reflect enough on some things. Now the world is infinite in its possibilities, so you always get new chances to reflect on circumstance. But if you are doing the same activity or the same circumstances, there's this point where self-reflection becomes almost like you start becoming it becomes an obsession. So you can't, everything has balance, moderation, yin yang, blah, blah, whatever. So anyway, 4 agreements has been something where, like, the business world has been sort of topsy-turvy for me and my business partner lately. And one of the things that we've seen happen is, the effect of client feedback and the effect of word of mouth, etc. When someone feels wronged, like a customer feels wronged, their full capacity for communication to the world is flexed, whereas you'll be lucky if you do a good job and that gets told by anybody, because people don't want to brag about stuff. But if someone does something bad, it's like, well, people do want to brag, but they don't want to brag. You see what I mean? Inside, they sort of do want to brag. But anyway, just like, so what's the outlet? The outlet becomes a negative, right? And some of this reflection on, looking at circumstance, etc. Some of the reflection is that if the 4 agreements were adhered to, some issues that we've seen in business would not have arose, etc. But when folks that you're working with don't resonate with those agreements, then it becomes tough. It becomes tough. Like, how do you know if someone doesn't resonate with the idea of being impeccable with their word? How deep can you get in a relationship with them? If someone doesn't agree with always doing your best, can you trust them to do their best? If you're partnering with them, like, are you partnering in business, can you rely on them to do the best that they can at doing whatever they're supposed to do in the shared responsibility? If this is someone who doesn't resonate with the idea of not making assumptions, what assumptions are they making about you, right? What assumptions are they going to make in the future about whatever? And what about someone who doesn't resonate with taking things personal, and they literally take things personal? So those kinds of things are important, important things to think about. And I think that's why it's been a topic as of late, and why I wanted to make it a something I brought up tonight, just because no one else brought up anything. So, if you want to talk about something else, what's on your mind? I've asked a couple times, so dump something else if you want. But until then, I'm going to talk about the 4 agreements, because it's been something that has come up. And again, issues in business wouldn't have arisen had the 4 agreements been adhered to, right? So that becomes something where not only in business, but also, personal, etc. If you adhere to those 4 agreements and everyone else did, what a great world. So is it possible to avoid the people that don't resonate with that idea? And, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because if someone's not impeccable with their word, they could be lying to your face. And that's a tricky thing to deal with, because I think most people want to be trusting and give people the benefit of the doubt when as much as they can. And it's tough for some folks to constantly have to look over their shoulder, for instance. All right, so let's see what's going on. Facebook, no comments. What's up? People joining in, no comments. However, very good YouTube. Thank you, Monique and Superfan Chris. Superfan Chris says, oh, thank you for jumping in with that. I believe it isn't possible to avoid those people. You will have to learn how to work with them and hope that your character can shine through the filth they may portray. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think we've all run into folks that don't resonate with those 4 agreements. And there's times when we've violated those 4 agreements ourselves, but we can't change the past. All we can do is hope to process and improve for the future, and always do our best and start adhering to the 4 agreements from this point forward. And because, like I said, you can't change the past, so why mess with it? Take the stoic approach, change the future, affect what you can affect. And yeah, something else that's interesting is this notion that Chris brings up, sort of the idea of a long game, that you're not going to avoid. You can't avoid running into people who may libel, slander your name, or make up stories, or straight up lie about you, or circumstances, or misrepresent something. And it's something where, God, there was a few things, that sort of signs that pointed to this, like this idea that this somebody could lie about you, but your character and who you are to other people was too strong, that they whatever they just wouldn't believe that person. And to be able to, basically say nothing and do nothing and know that people would defend you because of the strength of your character. If you adhere to the 4 agreements, you will create relationships like that, where people will know that this person would not do XYZ or whatever because it would violate things that they fundamentally resonate with as humans. Like I fundamentally resonate with those 4 agreements because it just makes sense to me. If we all did that, what a great society we'd live in, right? And I think that's part of a social fabric that we should have as basic social fabric. But it's tough. Anyway, it's tough. All right. Monique says, even if we cannot avoid them, we can search for those who are of the right mindset. Yeah, that's tough. It's tough. How do you know? You can't really spot someone's quote unquote mindset from across the room. So, how do you sort of suss people out? And what happens to the liars? They like in a continent of liars or something. Monique says, let's build a village. Yeah, the village of truth. We would have to have pretty intense armament, etc., because the crazies would come try to take our stuff. Superman Chris says, we always have a choice to stay or to go. We can certainly search for those with the right mindset. Yeah, I think being able to sort of pick and choose who you spend time with and who you who you choose to spend your time is something you can't get back, right? Money you could get back. You can spend money, you can earn money back, but you can't get time back. You can't go turning back the clock. So if you spend time with these people who are either not impeccable with their word, they're not doing their best, they're making assumptions about stuff. Maybe they're prejudiced. Maybe, who knows? It can manifest itself in different ways. Maybe they take things personal all the time, or they're maybe so narcissistic that everything turns into a story about them. Everything's about them all the time, about them. Some of these people, you start, if you first need to be aware that that's how they are. And then sometimes it's sort of heartbreaking. You're like, you know what? I need to be away from this person that I've been maybe grown close to, because sometimes these folks that break those 4 agreements are also manipulative, and they feed off of having people next, sort of reacting to them. Sometimes it's reacting with love, which might work out pretty well, but sometimes it's reacting with anything, like getting pissed off or whatever. It doesn't matter, and they thrive off of it. So anyway, and it's tough sometimes. We come up with reasons. It's like the abused partner who comes up with reasons why it's okay that they abuse them in a certain way or whatever, that kind of thing. Sydney says, hey, James. Hey, what's up, Sydney? Thanks for tuning in. You are on the live show. What do you think about it? I know you just tuned in. So you probably don't have too much stuff. We're talking about the 4 agreements. I don't know if you've heard about the 4 agreements or not. It's a book. God, who wrote that book? I can't remember. Anyway, but we were talking about, what were we talking about? Oh, just being being around people who resonate with those 4 agreements. Being impeccable with your word, not making assumptions, doing your best, not taking things personally, that kind of thing. Yeah, some folks don't resonate with that. And in my opinion, you should avoid people that don't resonate and attract people that do. And when you do that, I have this feeling that you almost can't help but become successful, because by finding people that resonate with those ideas, and becoming linked with them, you will naturally be able to network and work as a cohesive unit, more than likely, because you know that they'll be honest, they'll do their best, all of those agreements, you know what I mean? Let's see what else Superfan Chris says. You can almost attract the right people by living by those basic principles. The wrong ones will simply fall to the wayside, no doubt. They will sort of flesh themselves out to a large degree. But, it's hard to, when someone's not impeccable with their word, they can misrepresent, not doing their best. Oh, I didn't do my best. I did the best I could under a circumstance, right? Oh, I was sick. I was, this happened, that happened, which is all lies, right? So sometimes it's hard to see through someone who is not impeccable with their word. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's difficult to be, critical enough to find the folks that don't resonate, but also not be sort of so guarded that you don't interact with people. And Sydney says she misses me. Miss you too, Sydney. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday at 9. We talk about a new topic. If you see something that pisses you off, or something that's on your mind, or there's a cause that you want to bring up, drop it right now. Now we are coming up on an hour. I don't know that I want to go much longer than an hour, especially since I started late because of Hofstadter's law and technical difficulties. But be sure to tune in and subscribe. YouTube link is in the Facebook. If you are tuning in, we had one person on Facebook. One person still on Facebook. YouTube channel, subscribe every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. And let's see here. Superfan Chris. Oh no, Monique says, in total agreement, Chris. And Superfan Chris says they feed off reactions. Yes. So some folks that don't resonate with the 4 agreements, they feed off your reaction. They'll try to piss you off, or they'll try to make you love them, or they'll try to get your sympathy, your empathy, things like that. Superfan Chris says it also helps to have some self-accountability as well as accountability from a friend, family member, business partner, etc. Don Miguel Ruiz, yes, the 4 agreements. Don Miguel Ruiz, that's the author of the 4 agreements. Superfan Chris, thank you very much for helping out with that. Self-accountability, self-reflection, again, as Tim Minchin said, opinions are like assholes, in that everyone has them. However, unlike assholes, they should be subject to constant and thorough examination. You should constantly and thoroughly examine not only your opinions, but also your accountability. You should be able to self-reflect and hold yourself accountable to deadlines and things like that. And one thing I guess you could keep in mind, and one perspective you could have as far as holding yourself accountable, is you probably, if you don't already hold yourself accountable, like by, a lot of business owners have to hold themselves accountable to themselves, then you are probably held accountable by boss. And if you can't hold yourself accountable, but you need a boss to hold yourself accountable, then I think that deserves some self-reflection in of itself. Why do you need a boss? Why can't you just do it yourself? That becomes, So again, self-accountability is just a big deal. And that's why I think, John Steinbeck, I alluded to this before, John Steinbeck alludes to, or not alludes to, but sort of talks about, or has a narrative relating to a group dream. It's like A group dream is more likely to succeed. You in a partner is more likely to succeed than you by yourself. Now, there are some tenacious individuals that make it beyond the odds and scratch and eke their way to the top. Great. Even then, sometimes there's also a sort of hidden partner that they don't talk about, that doesn't get the limelight, etc. However, some of the most likely successes that we see are generally from people who team up. And why is that? What's the idea of teaming up? Is it just because you can leverage each other's skills? That is one reason. But another reason is because real partners don't, and especially people that go along with the 4 agreements, they don't want to disappoint their partner. They are working as probably harder for their partner as they are for themselves, that they want to be the one that helps the business. Not that it's a competition, but they want to contribute, so they do their best. You see what I mean? And so forth. So in these group dreams, when you have people that truly are resonating into this dream and truly believe and see this dream, I believe you're able to make it through and become successful. Not to say you can't do it alone, you can, but I believe you're more likely to succeed as a team. So coming up on an hour, 56 minutes. So what comments do you guys have? What questions? Remember, like, subscribe, tell your friends, get people, share it, get people to tune in, get people, especially folks that who I'm looking for, like libertarians, folks that I think libertarians are lost folks. It's like kids that need to learn how to do something like the realities of the world or something like that. I feel like, so yeah, let them know. And that way they'll get pissed off and they'll tune in. So if you got buddies that because so far pretty much everybody has, let me see. Monique says, truth on working harder for my other half. There you go. Yeah. When you're truly partnered into a group dream, you work to make the dream happen for the other. And that's the sort of secret, I think, that the genius of John Steinbeck was, that he portrayed that. And when that second leg goes away in his books, a lot of times, in his books, they're tragedies, Grapes of Wrath, Of Mice and Men. They end up being tragedies in the end, but they give this notion that you could actually pull off the impossible when you team up with the right people, and then how the loss of that person sometimes takes the drive away, and it's because some people aren't driven by self, and it goes back to, I believe it goes back to what I try to emphasize, that the nature of humanity isn't what I believe is a pervasive narrative of competition, that humanity is out to compete and conquer each other. I believe that we are meant to cooperate with each other, that we are a cooperative unit together, collectively. That's again going back to the very foundation of our evolutionary foothold. We are weak animals. We can't outrun anything. We don't have big teeth. We aren't strong compared to anything in the animal world. I mean, and if you think we are, you are sadly mistaken as to the capacity of animal strength. And strength to size ratio is astonishing. And human strength to size ratio is absolutely not even close. Not even close. I mean, look at a koala bear, and it's a literal koala bear strength to size ratio compared to a human puts us to shame. And we cannot kill the lion alone. We need our brothers and sisters. We are cooperative species. And I think that the notion that the group dream works because we dream outside of ourselves and we work outside of ourselves. That works for a lot of people. It resonates with a lot of people because it's in our DNA to be that way. It is a social construction built by a minority that has persuaded us that we are in competition with each other, as opposed to cooperation with each other. And there is a way to change the paradigm, but it takes all of us. Now we could have some savior holding a flag leading us, but I think it really takes all of us fundamentally being able to stand for what we believe in and being willing to stick our neck out and have a honest search and dialogue for truth, despite pissing people off. And that, I mean, hell, I'm not very melanated, and I did about a month ago, did an hour and a half long episode on reparations. Look, I don't give a shit. I will talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. And if I got a thought on it, I'll tell you my thoughts on it. And that's it. I mean, how else are we going to find the truth? And, off topic, but sort of on topic, is sort of like the dialogue that springs forth from stuff like a discussion of reparations of a non-black person, non-slave descendant, talking about the African descendants of slavery movement with, like, I don't give a shit who wants to comment on it. I mean, the leaders of the African descendants of slave movements can come join me on this podcast at any time and talk about it. Let's talk about it. In fact, I would love for them to join me on this podcast and let's talk about it, because I got some things to say to them that will probably piss them off, like they're being used as tools for white supremacy. So yeah, I said it. What? And what? Yeah, ADOS, come at me. That's the shit we do on the Boyd, though. And yeah, maybe I've drank too much wine, but that's the shit we do on the Boyd. How else are we going to find the truth? And what a question I asked an ADOS person, African descendant of slavery, like proponent, specifically, it was about the vote abstention. This idea that these African descendants of slaves, Black American people, are abstaining from voting for the president. It made me spill my damn wine. Look, I got too riled up. We're abstaining from voting for the presidency until a president vows to give tangible reparations. Talk about voluntary voter disenfranchisement, whatever. I mean, that's the white supremacist dream right there. Silly. That's just silliness to me. Boycott anything else. I don't care. Boycott anything. Whatever. Cripple the U.S. economy via boycott. I don't give a shit. Do it, please. Well, then we'll talk. We could talk about that. But don't boycott the vote. God, anything else. But anyway, I was talking about it, and I was like, look, because I was sort of tired of talking about it. I wasn't going to convince him either way. That I felt like there was some kind of 4D chess going on where white supremacy was actually taking some of the strongest voices in the Black community to get the Black people to not vote because the presidential candidate was scared into not putting reparations on the ballot or on the platform. Whew. Craziness. I don't know, but I guarantee, I bet there's some like Koch money in there, Koch brothers money, or some Heritage Foundation, or some right-wing shit going on, deep right-wing money in there somewhere. Anyway, Damn it, what was I saying? Oh, yes. I said, I brought up this sort of contradiction, this sort of duality that was brought up because it was sort of like implied that it wasn't my business to talk about it at all. And I was like, wow, this is still an issue because either it's not my business because I'm not ADOS, so it's not my business, or it is my business because ADOS are my brothers and sisters in America. They are my American brothers and sisters, and I care about them, and I want to know the ADOS situation and be part of that, right? So what am I? Am I an ally or I'm not? I shouldn't give a shit, right? You can't have both ADOS. You see what I mean? So that's something where, yeah, I will stand with conviction and discuss shit like that. So yeah, lay it on me. If you want to talk about some controversial ass shit, bring it. What you got? Let's talk. I don't care. We're talking about issues. I don't give a shit about politics. I don't care about the Democrat Party. They can kiss my ass. I don't care about the Republicans. They can kiss my ass twice. I don't give a shit about these people. They're crooked ass people. I'm talking about issues. What is it that you are worried about that we can talk about? Because I think there's a lot of propaganda flying around. And I'm not the know-it-all of everything. That's why I have a damn show. If I was a know-it-all everything, I'd just be publishing books and be like, read my book because I know it all. I don't want to hear it. It's already written because I already know. No, it's a live damn show. I read the comments. Put some comments so I can read them. You know, thank you, Superfan Chris and soon to be Superfan Monique, for putting some comments. Give me some topics, you know. Now, sometimes people do comment in the archives. Please lay it on me. Now, YouTube. I don't know if it's a YouTube issue or what. Someone did leave some comments on Michael something, Mike somebody. I can't remember the guy's last name. Anyway, the comments aren't appearing for some reason. I see them in my inbox that I got a notification that these comments appeared at some point. It was on the reparations episode. I'm really interested in having this discussion with this person, but these comments aren't showing up every time I try to go back to the reparations episode and look at these comments. He's refuting all sorts of points that I'm making. I'm like, I would love to have this ability to read what he's saying. I'm only able to see this little tiny paragraph. But anyway, if you know some secrets out there, you tech savvy folks, let me know. All right, let's see what we got. Superfan Chris, my pleasure. Let's do the ADOS topic next show. Ooh, yes, get your ADOS friends, rally them up. Get your anti-reparations folks, rally them up. Get, I don't know, folks to be spectators and some other opinionated folks and join us, and we could talk about ADOS. Now, we did talk about reparations. Now, is there something specific in ADOS that you want to talk about, Superfan Chris? Or are you just talking about the ADOS vote abstention movement? Because that is just, I mean, I don't know how much there is to talk about. I haven't actually researched, I don't know how to research the money trail to the most vocal ADOS vote abstention proponents. Now, I know there are some key players. I can come up with those names by next Tuesday, but you know, help me out next week if we want to talk about it. What specific thing, especially Superfan Chris, what specifically are we looking at? Maybe, yeah, if you guys want to, hey, let's play investigative journalist. If you guys are curious about something, you want to play investigative journalist, that is something. Some of the biggest names in the African descendants of slaves movement. Find out if there's a way to find out if they're getting money from weird think tanks or weird organizations that don't make sense. You know what I mean? If the Koch brothers are paying Sadiq something Tahid or something. I don't remember his name. Anyway, if they're paying the homeboy to print out this, vote abstention shit, then hey, there's something fishy going on. Monique says, let's recognize the problem so we can get down to the business of creating solutions. Amen. That's what I'm saying. Monique says, I think the ADOS movement is perhaps another way of keeping us separated and not unified. Yeah, but the question becomes, I think, the question is, who is behind it? Who wants to keep us separate? Who? Is it the white people? I mean, come on, that is like some pretty intense, strategery to get black people to abstain from voting because they want to demand more for black people. And black people actually do it. Like, I don't know. Is it just like a side effect, an unintended side effect that it just works in the white supremacist way for at least presidential elections? I mean, I just don't know. Which one is Occam's razor, right? What is Occam's razor, right? The simplest solution is usually the reality, right? Which one is Occam's razor in this? Is it more simple that a Koch-funded or right-wing or other kind of nefarious, non-impeccable with their word organization is using the ADOS movement as a front to create black non-participation in voting? Or ADOS just is stomping their feet, demanding that the president, whatever president candidate, give tangibles, quote unquote tangibles, to ADOS, otherwise they're not going to vote at all. I mean, I don't know. That's like such a tantrum play. Like, is that real? Which one is Occam's razor? I don't know. I seriously don't know. All right, so Monique says, I think, oh yes, okay, Superfan Chris, I agree that there's a hidden component. Not sure from which side that is pushing the ADOS movement. That's what I'm saying. So someday the Boyd, I've envisioned, the Boyd will actually be like a network. We don't have to keep it the Boyd. It could be the Truth Network, whatever. I don't give a shit what you call it. But like stuff like this, like whoever's into investigative journalism, go look, like come back next week and tell us what happened. Be a guest on the show. Tell us what you find, because I don't even know where to start, how that shit works. But it would be very interesting to see, like, which one is it? Is it truly that the ADOS movement is stomping their feet and not voting and telling other black people not to vote until reparations are on the table, or it's something funded by right-wingers to disenfranchise black votes by convincing black people that it's better not to vote than to just better not to vote. That not voting is the best way to protest their claims. I don't know. Occam's razor. I'm all for Occam's razor, but shit, both of those sound just as wacky and simple as each other, or complex as each other in a way. Just, God, boycott anything else. Boycott the dollar. You know what I mean? Boycott, yeah, do that. Boycott the dollar. Do all barter and exchange within a ADOS system. I mean, technically that's not legal tender, but whatever. I mean, I'm sure you have the freedom to some degree to tender it among the ADOS people who agree to use that tender. So that, or that currency. There you go. Do something like that. Boycott the dollar. Don't use the dollar. Maybe that's illegal. I don't know, but whatever. Do that. Still, even if it's illegal. Come on. What do you call it? There's a good enough reason to break the law. It'll be you can just call it there's a word for it when you break the law for a good reason. Civil disobedience. That's right. Yeah, that would be so much better. God, boycotting the vote? No, don't do that. All right. So anyway, we've clocked over an hour and 15 minutes. So I want to thank you guys. We got 3 people on the live on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the likes. 2 likes on the live show. What's up? Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell your friends. Make sure you. I don't have cards and stuff or whatever yet, but just share the link. I don't know. You guys figure it out. Send it to people. Say, look, check out this weirdo. He films this shit in this shop. It doesn't matter. We're talking about some shit. What's on your mind? Drop it on him. He'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Don't get offended though. Don't take it personal. Hey, when I told the flat earthers, don't come at me until you do what these ancients have done in Alexandria and Syene. Before the computer, before calculators, before all that, they could calculate the circumference of the earth. If you can't at least show that level of expertise of what the hell you're talking about, don't even come at me with that, right? So some of those things, it's like let's talk about some of those topics, but let's talk about things that you thought through and you're really mulling over, you know what I mean? Like that or maybe even there's something that you feel very sure about and you're pissed off about. Who knows? Maybe we'll poke holes in it. Or maybe you'll poke holes in what we talk about. That is the point of this. We are constantly and thoroughly examining our opinion. In fact, we are openly putting it out there for challenge. A challenge, people. Come on, let's talk about it. Let's debate, and we'll keep it as civil as we can. Right, we're gonna not take things personal, all of those things, and do our best and talk about things honestly and truthfully. And like I said, I don't give a shit what the topic is. Let's talk about it. But if it's like some stupid topic, we can like easy. Don't get offended. You need to bring a better topic. But if you don't agree with how we're talking about it, then bring your A game, cite your sources. We're trying to really flesh out the truth. That's the whole point of this show. All right, so here we go. Superfan Chris says, great show, man. As always, thank you, Superfan Chris. Thank you for tuning in. Monique says, thank you for an intellectual open dialogue. Absolutely, and I will provide that every Tuesday. On the Boyd at 9 p.m. Now, I haven't done it in a while, but I will also start doing some more of these Sunday sessions. Sometimes I drop a Sunday sesh just in the middle of nowhere. So make sure you hit the notification button so you know when I go live. And it's just sort of Sunday sesh. We talk about something. Maybe, I don't know, talk about whatever you want. But usually it's something like that pissed me off on Facebook or something. But I haven't been on Facebook in a while, so maybe I'll purposely get on just to find a Sunday sesh topic. We'll do that. All right. So again, thanks for tuning in to the Boyd, and till next time. Peace. Seprock Beats taking us out.
Mike, how's Operation Boring Tape Drive? Just got more interesting.